There we go. The record button is officially here. And yes, we are going to start with the NFL schedule. So, just to make sure the games are already started, I'll probably put my TV on in a second to watch the Dolphins suck at the freaking Falcons. They're just horrible. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to go on a little tangent. I just want Lua. I want Tua gone. Like, I know I've been kind of mean to him. Hold on one second. CBS. I've been mean to him, but I just want him gone from the Dolphins. Like, I've said some stuff like he needs to retire to Hawaii somewhere and play ukulele and just be a family guy and all that stuff. I just want him gone from the Dolphins. Can we have that happen? Just be gone from the Dolphins so I can be happy, man. Because I'm sick of you. Like, I just don't want you to go. I want you to go. But anyway, so if you want to watch the game, it is currently 6-0. They're playing in Atlanta in that very nice stadium. I have yet to go to that stadium in Atlanta, but when I get a chance, yeah. So it's that's the game going right now. The Jets are playing the Bengals. The Browns are playing the Patriots. I will talk about the Cleveland Browns in a second. The New York Giants are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. That's probably the game I'm going to be turning in. Let me see if that game is on Fox. Fox. Damn. I hate it here. Oh, that sucks. All we get is freaking Dolphins. Bruh, what is this? Anyway, yeah, so, you know, the Giants are playing the Eagles. I'm going to have to find a way to watch that game somewhere. I'll find a way. The Buffalo Bills are playing in the Carolina Panthers. The Chicago Bears are visiting the Baltimore Ravens. I will talk about that team in a second. The San Francisco 49ers are visiting the Houston Texans, and those are all your early games on Eastern time. Your midday games for Eastern time is for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the New Orleans Saints in a divisional rival. The Dallas Cowboys visiting the playing at Denver Broncos. I think this is like one of their first games in a long time they've played each other. I can't remember. I keep forgetting why this game was hyped. I think it was because something about Denver not beating Dallas or something like that along those lines. I gotta go find out. What's up, hey Queen? How you doing? And then we also have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Man, that should be a stomp. I'm gonna be honest with you. If the Colts lose that game, there's gonna be some problem going with that. So that should be a straight up stomp. But anyway, your Sunday night game is gonna be the Green Bay Packers visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers in Rodgers' return to Green Bay since joining the Steelers. And then your Monday night matchup is Washington Commanders visiting. I almost said it. I didn't say it. I almost said it. I didn't say it. The Washington Commanders visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you're Detroit, Vegas, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, or Jaguars fans, I don't know who is, your teams are off this week. So there you go. Those are all scheduled games. And then we had a game on Thursday night matchup. Minnesota took on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers to put the whooping stick to Minnesota 37-10. I'm gonna talk about that game in a second. Looking ahead for your Thursday night game for this week, you got Baltimore visiting the Miami Dolphins. Really? Well, I won't be going anywhere on Thursday. And your Monday night matchup going into next weekend is Arizona taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Pause. Wait a minute. I guess I won't be going anywhere on Thursday because I think this is the second game the Dolphins had on Thursday night, because they had a Thursday night game against the Buffalo Bills, which they got destroyed. And then now they have a Thursday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, and they should get destroyed in that game too, just to be honest. It's just World War hate for Tua and the crew. I'm just going to close that button right quick. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little, just brief recap about the Chargers. Justin Herbert, 18 for 25, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. He did his QBR rating is 96.2 for the game. Yeah, Carson Wentz, he's trying, man. 15 for 27, 144, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, QBR rating of 27.3. Plus he had a fumble that he recovered. It's crazy. The Chargers, yes, I know the Chargers are rolling. I don't know if they're gonna win that division because y'all got the Chiefs and the Broncos are still winning. So I mean, they could be a wild card team again, but I don't know about winning that division. Although they did beat the Chiefs. I don't know if they're going to get past the Broncos. That's the thing. I don't even know when they played the Broncos. Let me see. Have they played the Broncos yet? Oh, they did. They did beat the Broncos early in the season. So, okay. So they hold a tiebreaker against those two teams, but they still got to get past Denver. Denver has a better record. So as long as Denver keeps winning and the Chargers keep winning, like technically the Denver should take the division. But the Kansas City Chiefs are right there on their necks. So don't sleep on the Kansas City. Like the AFC West is ridiculous. Both West teams, it's crazy. It's like the AFC and the FC West both have ridiculous like winning teams. You know, outside of the Raiders, because the Raiders are the Raiders. What can I say? But anyway, yeah. So that was the Thursday night game. Make sure you check the local listings for all those games that you're looking forward to. In other NFL news, I got to report this because there was reported early on, and I saw this in my group chat. Unfortunately, Nick Mangold, the former Jet Star center, died at the age of 41. This is very unfortunate that we see all these players who are dying early, left and right. I think there was a death with a running back from the Buccaneers about a week or so ago. And then Nick Mangold is the latest NFL player to die early. So make sure that, like, dangerous football is a very dangerous sport. So I don't know what's going on. One second, guys. Here we go. Anyway. Yeah. So send his well wishes to his family, friends, to the Jets faithful. But yeah, it's unfortunate that another football player has lost their life in the past few weeks. More controversy about Shedeur Sanders and the Browns, bro. So Shedeur is inactive versus the Patriots. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the coach has a problem with him, but the writing's on the wall. Like it's clear as day that the Cleveland Browns don't want to deal with Shedeur. And look, if you don't want to deal with this man, just trade him, bro. It's not hard. Just go ahead and trade him. Just go ahead and trade him. Release him, trade him, do something with him. Because like you're wasting this kid's talent, just having him sit on your bench, and you're just like, I don't trust him. And it's the Cleveland Browns. Like, do we need to say more about the Cleveland Browns? Like, I swear, the Dolphins, don't get me wrong, the Dolphins are a firestorm, but the Cleveland Browns been a firestorm. Like, it's just, like, you just can't. I don't know how the Browns fans remain faithful to this team when they keep doing things like this. Like, I can understand with the Dolphins, we'll clean house, we'll get better eventually. We'll be middle of the pack. We'll maybe make the playoffs a few times, and then we'll rinse and repeat the cycle. Like, we haven't been relevant since Dan Marino, let's be honest. But the Browns have not been relevant, period. Like, they've had one opportunity being relevant, and that's when Baker Mayfield was playing with the Browns. Since then, it's just been dumpster fire after dumpster fire after dumpster fire. And just get rid of this guy. Like, just let him go. Just let him go. Just let him be his own man. That's all I gotta say about that. In other NFL news, the NFL is actually looking into the Ravens' handling of Jackson practice participation. So supposedly Lamar Jackson was supposed to play, and something happened where they decided to not have him play live. Give me 1 second because the camera's kind of messing up. So I just want to see if it can fix itself. Anyway. So he was supposed to play, and now they decided to rule him out. So now the NFL will investigate if they're handling his injury report policy, because like he's been out of action for a while now, and they're going to see if the Baltimore Ravens have violated any if they violated any policies against listing players at the last minute for being ineligible to play. So we'll see what happens with this. I didn't want to talk about it too much because it just came up on my timeline, but we'll see going forward. Now moving on to college news. So yes, I know my Hurricanes lost last weekend. It was unprecedented, but they were able to bounce back. They had a slow start, but they managed to right the ship towards the second half and put a stomping to Stanford 42-7. And once again, I have to say this, that the Miami Hurricanes in the last 7 games have not left the state of Florida. They're finally going to leave the state of Florida in November when they play SMU. Like, all of their games that they've played have been in the state of Florida. When they played the Florida State on the road, that was in the state of Florida. When they played Notre Dame, that was at home. When they lost to Louisville, that was at home. When they beat Florida, that was at home. When they beat South Florida, that was at home. Like, they have yet to leave the state of Florida, and they're still ranked. Look, I'm happy that Miami is correcting the ship, and they still have the potential to go to the college football playoff, let alone win the ACC championship, depending on if who's going to be facing them. I think it's going to be Georgia Tech, because looking at this schedule right now, it's currently it's Georgia Tech, Virginia. Virginia's undefeated too, so they still have a potential to make the playoff, even though they may not play in their championship. So it just depends on how high the ranking is for them. Right now they're ranking 9th. So the way it works is the top 12 teams in the playoff, college football playoff, will be playing in the playoff, and if they remain in that ranking going forward, then they will still be there. Because right now I think Virginia is ranked. What is Virginia's ranking? It's Virginia's ranking 16. So it just depends. Like Virginia doesn't play. Virginia. So the funny thing is, Virginia, Florida, Miami, and Georgia Tech don't play each other for the rest of the season. If they win out, these two teams will play for the ACC championship, but Miami will still be ranked higher. Now, it could be the case that Virginia could outrank Miami by the end of the season. But it just really depends on their schedule, because like they could play Cal, they play Wake Forest, they play Cal, they play Wake Forest, they play Duke, Virginia Tech. Like, they're gonna beat these teams. The only loss they have is NC State, but this is the weirdest thing. So like technically they have a conference loss, technically, but because it was a non-conference game, because they didn't have enough non-conference opponents, they decided to make NC State game a non-conference game. So technically speaking, Miami should be ranked over Virginia. It's just weird, bro. Like, college football is just effing weird at this point. I don't understand it, bro. I don't understand it. But we're gonna move right along. There were some close games in college football. Yeah, I actually watched this game a bit yesterday. Alabama. They keep rolling. They keep doing what they're doing. They keep winning. Went up in South Carolina and won 29-22. Shout outs to the Crimson Tide. They are definitely holding their own when it comes to the SEC. And outside of Texas A&M, they're going to pretty much, if they keep winning, they're going to be in the SEC championship. I don't see anybody else being higher ranked than them. The loss that they suffered against Florida State was a devastating loss, but they've pretty much steamrolled everybody. They pretty much either steamrolled or played close to everybody in the SEC. So, you know what? I got to give credit where credit due. This is one of the few times, like, I don't like Alabama fans because they can be obnoxious at times, but like, the team is doing well. Get off the coach's back. Yes, it was a bad loss at the beginning of the season, but it was a bad loss at the beginning of the season and a non-conference opponent. So like, get off this man back. Let this man steamroll. They're quietly winning. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just Alabama, man. Oh, that's all I got to say about it. Speaking of teams that are still winning, Vanderbilt, the little brother that could. I'll put it like that. The little brother that could keeps winning in the SEC. They went up against Missouri. I think College Game Day wasn't at Vanderbilt. So they went up in the SEC and they won against Missouri 17-10. That's another SEC team that keeps rolling, bro. What can I say? Vanderbilt's doing their thing. They will not be in the championship. Looking at their schedule, they still got to play Texas. That's going to be a hard game, and they still got to play Tennessee. So I can see this team at overall having 3 losses on the season. They might beat Texas because I'm gonna be honest with you, Texas is fool's gold in my opinion. Like they're so up and down. Like you win against Oklahoma, but then you lose against Florida. What's up with that? Like explain that, please. You lose against a team that just fired their coach, man. Explain that, please. At least he could take that win on the way out because he knows he was trash. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, shout outs to Vanderbilt for keep winning. That's that. We'll see what happens when the rest of the schedule comes out. Speaking of that team that I just talked about, I should have had them after talking about them earlier. But yes. Virginia keeps winning, and they won a close game in overtime against North Carolina Tar Heels. Listen, Bill Belichick, just take this season and just wash it over, and then listen. Do what you need to do on the off season, recruit, and come back next season because this is clearly not your season right now. Although I will say that they played a pretty good game against Virginia Tech, but that interception that they threw at the end, man, that sucks. That really sucks. So yeah, shout outs to Virginia. 7-1, 4-0 in ACC. Like I said, they had that stupid loss against the ACC opponent that was not an official ACC game. I don't get it, man. Whatever. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, moving right along. Another team that actually played a close game was Texas winning against Mississippi State. They struggled against a Mississippi State team that's been 4-4. Arch Manning was 29-46, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But Arch Manning was knocked out of the game in concussion protocol, so we're gonna wish him well. Hopefully that he's okay. Because when it comes to concussions in football, we know how serious they can be. And it's unfortunate that this young prospective talent is now suffering with the injury. With that being said, Texas keeps rolling. I still think they have to play Georgia in a few weeks. They got to play Vanderbilt. That's going to be a really tough game for them. And then Georgia, and that's going to be a tough game. And then they got Texas A&M. That's going to be tough. Like this gauntlet that Texas got, bro, it is rough. It's so rough. Like you play Ohio, you started the season with Ohio State, and then you finished with Texas A&M. That is hell rough. Oh my God, they probably have one of the hardest schedules if you think about it, because like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really tough games outside of Alabama. Like they have some really tough games. So, you know what? Hopefully he can recover. If not, the backup will be able to do things. Because looking at their score, he was a perfect one. He's 1 for 1. Like he didn't do anything but throw a touchdown. But yeah, he won in overtime, 45-38. So shouts to Texas on that one. All right, well, right along. Ole Miss. This one is another game I did watch. So Ole Miss playing against Oklahoma Sooners, 34-26. They really towards the end just pulled off a good game. They bounced back from their loss against Georgia, which was I think it was a close game. Remember correctly. Let me check that schedule. Yeah, it was a close game. It was 43-35. So they have a pretty favorable schedule going in. They still got South Carolina, they got Florida, and then they're gonna finish off the Egg Bowl against their rivals, Mississippi State. Ole Miss is probably going to be in the playoffs as one of those at-large teams. I think that they have shown that they're a pretty good team outside of Georgia and maybe Alabama. Like I think they're the third best team in the SEC. I'm not going to put Texas A&M up there with them because although Texas A&M is good, but I just see them. Well, I take that back. Okay, let me correct myself. Outside of Texas A&M, outside of Georgia, Alabama, outside of Georgia, they're probably the fourth best team because they did lose against Georgia. So, but I do see them as one of the 4 teams to make the playoffs. Like that conference, this conference is ridiculous when you look at it. Like you have Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Texas is still there. Tennessee is still there. No, Tennessee don't count. Like you got all these teams. You could have potentially 5 teams, 4 or 5 teams in the playoff for them. So like we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, but it's definitely looking good for them. It's definitely looking good for them. So anyway, move right along. We got Texas A&M. They're still rolling against LSU, 49-25. And listen, the LSU crowd. Let me tell you something about LSU. They have one of the largest stadiums in America. They're not the largest. The largest is a big house up in Michigan. But they have one of the largest and loudest stadiums in America with over 100,000 seatings for fans. When Texas rolled up on LSU, they pretty much cleared that stadium. I don't know what to tell you, but they were chanting for Brian Kelly to get fired. And this has been one of the craziest seasons in college football where you're seeing a lot of high-profile coaches being fired. So do not be surprised if LSU is considering a buyout for Brian Kelly, because so far, James Franklin's been fired from Penn State. Billy Napier's been fired from Florida. Mike Gundy been fired from Oklahoma State. The coach from UCLA was fired. I'm trying to think who else was a major fire. Oh, and Virginia Tech's coach was fired. So that was 5 major programs with fireable offenses. And there's probably going to be some more. I can see LSU being on the chopping block, probably firing Brian Kelly's contract. I could see. I just had him in my mind. I don't think he's going to be fired this season, but I can see Dabo Swinney being on the chopping block with Clemson. And I can definitely see Mike Norvell from Florida State. If he's not fired this season, next season he will be. If he has another season like he has right now. So that's going to be a lot of coaches openings very, very soon. So, yep. What can I say? This is the age of the NIL. This is the age of players getting paid. This is the age of transfer portal. If you're not performing, there's no longer the days of these coaches sitting back for 10, 20 years and not winning and not performing. These players are not, these schools are not playing anymore. Now that they know these players are getting paid. Now they know that these players could be transferred. Like you either perform or you get out the door. That's the way it is. Moving right along, Georgia Tech keeps rolling. They are 8-0, leading the ACC 41-16 against Syracuse. I'm thoroughly scared of this team. I think they're gonna lose against Georgia. They might beat Georgia. I don't know. They have a very favorable schedule. We'll see what happens with NC State, because NC State could put a hurt on them. Also, Pitt could do something to them, but we'll see what happens. And then that Georgia game is in Atlanta, so we'll see what happens with that. And I think I will be in Atlanta for that game. I may be in Atlanta for that game because that's usually around Thanksgiving. So yeah, I'll be in Atlanta for Georgia Tech. Either my brother will be cussing at the TV or we'll find a way to go to the game. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Yeah. But the Georgia Tech they have done a 180. This team used to be the doormat of ACC, and they have done a complete 180. This is a team for real. This is a for real team. Like, they keep winning. So don't be surprised if they're ACC champs. At minimum, they're definitely going to be in the ACC. The college football playoffs. Even if they were to lose one game and lose the ACC champ, they're going to be in the playoffs. I don't see them going anywhere. Another team that's rolling that took over the number 2 spot for my Miami Hurricanes is the Indiana Hoosiers. They stopped the momentum of the UCLA Bruins 56-6. I'm not surprised by this. That coach signed an extension for this to remain the head coach of Indiana. He's for real. The head coach of Indiana, he's for real. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now in the Big Ten, y'all better stop sleeping on this man, because it's gonna be a matter of time where he's gonna match up with Ohio State and definitely Michigan. Like his schedule, looking at his schedule moving forward, he has one of the easiest roads to the championship, to the Big Ten championship. He'll probably end up playing against Ohio State. I don't know how well they're going to match up against Ohio State, but they're right there with them. So, you know what? Shout outs to Indiana. They're doing their thing. That little small school up in Bloomington. Oh, is it Bloomingdale? Bloomington? I don't know. It's up in Indiana somewhere. I've been to that school. It's a very nice school, but it's just so isolated. It's like, oh, that's a college town for real. That's a real college town. And there weren't too many upsets yesterday, but there were a few. So obviously the 18th ranked South Florida Bulls lost to the Memphis Tigers, who were previously ranked 34-31. Shout out to Memphis for winning against South Florida. And the other huge upset was the Houston Cougars beating the Arizona State Sun Devils 24-16. Yeah, I don't see the Sun Devils being ranked after this. After this loss, that they're done. They're done for the season. But another team that's really, really done for the season is Colorado. Colorado, please come to the front. Now, this game was up 43-45. Let me do my math here. Let me get my calculator. Hold on a second. Let me get a calculator. We had 17 points in the first quarter. Then we had 26 points in the second quarter. It was up 43-0. Like, what's going on? This team had no answer. Like, listen, Dion, your team had no answer for this. Like, I don't know what's going on with this team, but this is pretty sad that they got beat this bad, because, and I feel bad for Sanders, because like, the man is a legit coach. He really is a legit coach. I just think that he's not going to get the players to come to Colorado, because it's Colorado. Like, who wants to go to Colorado? Like, you can throw all the money in the world, but who wants to go to Colorado? Let's be real. Like, do you want to go to Colorado? I don't want to go to Colorado. I'd rather be somewhere like either Georgia or Ohio State or Miami or Florida State or Florida or Michigan. Like, who wants to go to Colorado? For real. I'm just keeping a buck. Like, who wants to go to Colorado? Because I don't want to go to Colorado. It's unfortunate. So, I really hope for Coach Sanders' fate. I can't even call him Coach Prime. I hope for Coach Sanders' sake that if I was Florida, and I don't like Florida, y'all know how I feel about Florida. It's F Florida all day, every day. I will roll out the Brinks truck to bring him to Florida. If Florida State don't fire Mike Norvell, bring him to Florida. Bring him down Florida. Because two reasons. One, he's not going to get the players he needs in Colorado. Two, his health is being directly affected by that altitude, coaching up there in Colorado. I didn't know that was a thing until somebody explained it to me, and I said, oh, wow, that is really a thing. So I'm really worried, because this man had multiple blood clots. He's already had to amputate 2 of his toes. This is a guy that we talked about played 2 sports throughout his career. One in both. Super Bowl, I think he won a World Series, if I remember correctly. Let me see. I think he won a World Series. Oh, okay. He never won. He has played in the World Series with the Braves. Okay. All right. So he did win 2 Super Bowls, because he won the 49ers and he won with the Dallas Cowboys, but he did play the World Series with the Atlanta Braves. Okay. I thought he won with because I remember him being with the Yankees, but nah, he didn't win one. Okay. So yeah, it's crazy that you see a guy who's just like, he was the prototype to what Travis Hunter was doing. Well, sort of a prototype to Travis Hunter's doing. And not only is he not winning, he can't get the players to go to where he needs to go, and on top of that, his health is being affected. So I just really, really hope that he could find a way to bounce back from this, because that's crazy. Like, they lost against Georgia Tech, close game. Like they had some really solid games. They lost against a close game against Georgia Tech beginning of the season. Lost against Houston. Lost against BYU in a close game. Couldn't hold them off. Lost against TCU, and then Utah just blew them out the water. So they're gonna finish the season out with Arizona, West Virginia. They play Arizona State again, and then they play Kansas. Like they beat Iowa State. Like, come on, man. They must have had an extreme high after that Iowa State game, because how do you explain this? How do you explain it? It just makes no sense to me. I just really hope he can do something. They can do something with him. That's all I hope for him. So I'm just gonna recap. I'm just gonna talk real briefly about the NBA. So I'm not gonna be doing too much NBA stuff here. And the reason being is that I just got picked up by Rock Boys Network. So I actually going to be doing their Rock Boys Rebound NBA sports stuff on Wednesday nights. So I've put the link in the description here in chat. It's pinned there. So if you want to go follow them, please go follow them there. So we'll be doing a lot of NBA stuff. We actually did a top 10 NBA players list, which if you missed it, I can just go through it real quick. So at number 10, I had Cade Cunningham. I'm talking about season. So upcoming season, top 10 players that we have looking forward to the season, even though the season just started. I had number 10 at Cade Cunningham from Detroit Pistons. At number 9, Kevin Durant for the Houston Rockets. Luka Doncic at number 8 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Donovan Mitchell at number 7 for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jalen Brunson at number 6 for the New York Knicks. Steph Curry at number 5 for the Golden State Warriors. Anthony Edwards, number 4 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 3, Giannis at the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not saying his last name because I'm not in the mood to say his last name. For the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis. Just stick with that. Number 2, I got the Joker Jokic from the Denver Nuggets, and I got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander SGA at number 1 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I've already stated why he should be number 1, because I was looking at those other lists that ESPN and the NBA rankings put up, and I disagreed with him being at number 2 and Jokic being number 1. That man did everything last season, and his team is still highly rated. He's showing that his team still wins. Like, them 2 games that they played on national TV were great. They played against Atlanta Hawks. They beat the Atlanta Hawks the other night. So, like, he won the Finals MVP last year. He won a ring last year. He was the NBA's MVP during the regular season, and he also won the scoring title. So that man did all of that in one season, and I'm pretty sure he was first team All NBA. I don't know if he was first team All Defense. Just trying to see if he was. Oh, and he was first team All Defense. Why is this man number 2? What's going on here? Like, come on, bro. He's done everything. Everything. First team All Defense, first team All NBA, won a ring, won the Finals MVP, won the league MVP, and he had the scoring record while he was still on top defender. What are y'all smoking? No. So I had SGA number 1. But anyway, looking back to the NBA rankings. So what I did is I just decided to pull up the NBA Cup. So the NBA Cup is the in-season tournament that the NBA has every season. They modeled this after the in-season tournaments that they saw that European soccer has, and actually local soccer has too. MLS has MLS and USL, along with the women's league, the NWSL. They participate in in-season tournaments that basically will crown like in-season champions and stuff like that. It's basically like if you watch, the closest thing I can think of, if you ever watch college basketball, they always have like these little tournaments at the beginning of the season. So that's basically what they're having, is basically in-season tournament. So they broke down the different groups. We have for the group A, for Eastern Conference is Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Indiana Pacers, Washington Wizards, and the Toronto Raptors. I expect the Cleveland Cavaliers to come out of this group as a top team moving forward. I don't see Indiana being a threat to them, because even though Indiana showed that they can play, but they still got Pascal Siakam, they're really missing Hallie. And not with Halliburton not being there, that's going to be a huge factor into what their team can and can't do. I just don't see them being the same Indiana Pacers team from last season. So we'll see what happens with that. Going into Group B, we got the Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons, Brooklyn Nets, Orlando Magic, and the Philadelphia 76ers. The team that should come out of this group should be Orlando Magic. Although I would not sleep on the Detroit Pistons, because they did make the playoffs last season and they're a very good young team with a formidable threat. But I think the Orlando Magic is experienced enough that they should be able to win this, to be able to compete and win this group. My sleeper team will be the Philadelphia 76ers, depending on if Joel Embiid shows up. And I'm not going to talk about Paul George. So Group C's got the Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, and Charlotte Hornets. This one is probably the most competitive of the three groups, because I'm looking at the Knicks, I'm looking at the Bucks, I'm also looking at the Heat. The Heat actually can surprise a few teams, but ultimately, I think the Milwaukee Bucks should be able to come out of this if Giannis is remaining healthy. If not, the New York Knicks would be a solid number 2, and then my Miami Heat is going to be the sleeper team going into the group play. If I had to pick a wild card team coming out of these games, I would say the Detroit Pistons. That's my wild card team. Going into the Western Conference, we got Group A, which is Minnesota Timberwolves, the Phoenix Suns, the Sacramento Kings, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Utah Jazz. There's only 2 teams in this group that I thoroughly are looking at, and that's OKC and Minnesota. OKC should win this group, although I have Minnesota as a close 2. OKC should by far and away win this group, but I don't know if they're going to be able to win it outright, because of the fact that they've been playing a lot of overtime games, and eventually that's going to wear your star players out. So I need to see how they're going to do when they going forward. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'll be keeping an eye out on this one. The Group B, we got the Group B, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, the Dallas Mavericks, the LA Clippers, LA Lakers, and the Memphis Grizzlies. So this one's actually pretty interesting, because you have the Lakers, the Clippers, and Memphis Grizzlies in this group, along with the Pelicans, who I think could be pretty competitive. It could be their showing out party. And then the Dallas Mavericks, don't sleep on them, although they're 0-2 right now. My money is going for the Memphis Grizzlies come out on this one. I think John Morant has something to prove, especially with LeBron still being out right now. Although the Clippers could be a heavy favorite depending on if Kawhi Leonard plays. And that we already know about Kawhi Leonard. He's the most unique player I've ever seen to play NBA. This man will bust you for 35 and take 5 games off. Like, I don't understand how this man, he's the ultimate. Listen, I need to go. If he ever hosts a seminar, I'm going to this seminar, because this man works one day, one game, takes 5 games off. I need to work one day a week and just take the rest of the week off. Like, just do everybody's work for one day and then take the rest of the week off. Like, that's the type of player that Kawhi Leonard is now. Mr. Load Management 3000. That, in fact, he's so Mr. Load Management, he's even load management on his laugh. Like, need I say more? I don't understand it. So yeah, that's what's going on with him. But I think Memphis Grizzlies can take it. I do see the Lakers. It depends on LeBron. I don't see LeBron coming back. They're saying LeBron not coming back till December. So by the time he comes back, he'll probably come back for like what the Christmas Day games, and the NBA Cup will finish at the beginning of December. So I don't see the Lakers coming out of it. I like Luka, but I don't see Luka. It need LeBron because like Luka can't carry this team by himself and expect to just do everything and win outright. Like especially when you got the Clippers and Pelicans and Grizzlies there. And I'm not going to count the Dallas Mavericks because they're struggling right now. But the most interesting one of the group is Group C. You got the Denver Nuggets, Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, Portland Trail Blazers, and the San Antonio Spurs. So, like, this one is the most loaded group. Like, jeez, you got the Nuggets, you got the Warriors, you got the Rockets, and you got the Spurs. Have y'all seen what Wemby's been doing the past few games? If that man remains healthy, that man is going to be putting up double doubles and triple doubles on people. Like, it's crazy. And then you can't sleep on the Rockets because, like, Kevin Durant and them boys, like, they'll bust you. They'll catch you off guard. And then the Golden State Warriors are Golden State Warriors. Like, I don't know how they do things, but they just find a way to win. And then the Denver Nuggets are ridiculous. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this is the most, to me, of all the groups, this one is probably the most competitive. For my dollar, if I had to pick one team out of this group to win, it'll be the Nuggets. Close second is the Spurs, depending on how Wemby plays. And my sleeper team is the Warriors. I don't know. The Rockets have enough firepower to keep up. Like that trade with KD is definitely put them in title contention. But they're definitely missing a point guard right now, and they kind of need it because right now, the way teams are playing against them, especially when they played against the Thunder, they're doubling up on KD. They're just doubling up on KD and shutting him down. So the other players have to get theirs. I think outside of like one player for the Rockets, I forgot his name already, but like they just need to get a point guard that can facilitate the ball when they're moving up the court. So other than that, like this is the most interesting group of all the groups. And I'm not gonna lie, when the NBA Cup starts, I'm gonna be checking their games because it's gonna be competitive. So that's your groups for the NBA Cup. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room about the reports of the arrest of the coach of Chauncey Billups, the former NBA great Chauncey Billups. Terry Rozier from the Miami Heat, and I think there was Daniel Porter or what was his name is. So if you don't know, the FBI arrested these players. There were 31 federal indictments involving gambling. So supposedly there's rumors that the mafia was involved with some of these gambling acts. I don't know if they're connected to it, but it doesn't look good. So I know that players have spoken out about Terry Rozier. I think Bam said something about the team still supporting the players supporting him. I think the Heat's going to continue to pay his contract, even though his stuff has been seized. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. It's not looking good right now. It's not looking good right now. When the federal, like we know about federal cases, we're not going to talk about that one federal case because this is not the place to talk about it. But when the feds do get you, they do get you, and they wait their time. And in this climate that we know, in this environment, I don't go too political, but this climate that we are involved in, with everything going on with the policies and the government shutdown and everything, this is a red flag just because of the simple fact that we know the people that are in these positions that are looking at these leagues, and if they can find a will, they will find a way. So we'll see what happens going forward with these investigations, but it doesn't look good. And I know that one streamer, I'm not gonna name names, has said fire out Adam Silver because all he cares about is money. Because I think the NBA knew about Terry Rozier's gambling situation and had him sit down so that they could try to sweep it under the rug, allegedly. I gotta say allegedly. It's this is something that's just gonna be keep my eyes on. So Somebody said that NFL is next because of this situation. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, but it's been like gambling has been far more synonymous with the NBA than NFL. Because like the NFL does suspend their players when they try to do it. Because I remember, I forgot one of the players from the Atlanta Falcons. He's no longer with the Falcons. He got suspended. He got suspended and then he got dropped by the Falcons, and he plays I think his name Calvin Ridley. So he plays somewhere else. I think he plays either Jacksonville or Tennessee. But yeah, it's just when the FBI is involved, it's pretty bad. So hopefully they can figure this situation out. Don't let this overshadow what the NBA is doing right now when it comes to their league and what they're promoting as far as the product. It's just a very fortunate situation. That's all I can say about that. So, but yeah, just wanted to touch about that a little bit because I know that came up and I didn't say anything. I haven't had a podcast talking about it. I did mention it in my last Thursday stream when I streamed for 7 hours. I talked about it a little bit, but yeah, that was the most surprising thing that came out last week was the indictments, federal indictments that took place, and Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, I think his name is Darren Porter. They all been arrested in relations to illegal gambling. There was a fight this weekend. I didn't watch it, but yes, Worley shocked Parker with a late stoppage, calls out Usyk. So congratulations to Wardley for beating Parker. He calls out Usyk, and you know what? I think Usyk has a plan to retire in the next 2 years or so. So this is really interesting because I know for a fact, like both Usyk and Crawford both have plans to retire in the next 2 years. So we'll see what happens with both of them. But there's not much to report on this. The fight happened. It was there. I didn't watch it. Oh, there we go. But I'm gonna finish up this recording. I'm 47 minutes in. So make sure you can check out your local news on ESPN.com, SportsIllustrated.com, the Associated Press, FoxSports.com, and make sure you support your local teams. Like I said, I wasn't doing too much for the NBA because I will be doing the NBA on Wednesdays going forward for the NBA season. Make sure you go to Rock Boys Network to check out our live broadcast. It'll also be on YouTube, and it'll also be on different podcast streamings like Apple, Spotify. See, Mr. CO Coles is really good about doing that. See, I'm not really good at it. I just put my stuff on YouTube. I need to start. I'm still investigating. I'm still looking into products that I need to use for doing podcasting. Because I want to expand out a little bit more. Also, kind of looking at adding more people to podcasts because it helps when I bounce up stuff with other people. Although some of my takes are pretty funny. I will also looking into doing another podcast. I won't talk about it, but I am looking into doing one. I am talking with a person. We're negotiating some stuff, so I'm gonna try to see what their time frame is. Because I have to balance everything out with school and work. But we will see what happens with that. I don't know how often we're going to do it, but it's going to be tech related. That's for sure. So, all right, let me go ahead and hit the button so I can stop recording, and then we can play some games.